Sony's got a brand new VR headset coming for the PlayStation 5, and we finally know how it looks. We don't know a lot of other things though. So here's the thing, Sony keeps revealing details about the PlayStation VR 2. This is Sony's big VR headset, the second time that Sony has made a VR headset for the PlayStation platform, the first one being the PlayStation VR in 2016. The PSVR 2 has been announced in drips and drops throughout the last couple of years. First, Sony talked about the controllers, then they talked about some of the specs, and now we have a look at the entire headset. So it looks like a VR headset, which is not surprising, although it does have the PlayStation 5 color scheme, and it looks reasonably sleek. If you were expecting something that was maybe some sort of futuristic Sony glasses, you'll probably be disappointed because it looks like a VR headset. But if you've been following the landscape, there's a lot in here to like. First of all, Sony finally has built-in tracking on this headset through 4 cameras, as opposed to requiring a camera bar, which the original needed. Also, there's only 1 cable needed to tether. Yes, there is a cable, and it snakes down the side, but the original PlayStation VR had this massive breakout box of cables, which was incredibly annoying to set up each time. So this is a lot better, but it's also not fully wireless like the Oculus Quest 2, which means that if you're doing something like Beat Saber or something where you're moving around a lot, it could get annoying. Sony's introducing a couple of really new technologies though in this headset that we haven't really seen before in a consumer VR headset. One is eye tracking. Now this thing's going to track your eyes to do a couple of things. One, to improve graphics. Now this already has 2000 by 2000 about resolution OLED displays in this headset, which are going to provide supposedly 4K quality graphics. But it's also going to help improve the graphics flow even better through something called foveated rendering that's going to look at where your eye's looking and be able to focus the graphics just there because your eye actually doesn't see the detail all around. This has been on professional headsets and a few custom headsets, but we haven't seen it on any other VR headset out there for mass adoption. There's also going to be 3D audio on this. There's going to be vibrations, which is something that we don't see in many VR headsets at all. The headset itself is going to vibrate, but in addition, there are going to be new dedicated VR controllers. We've known about these Sense controllers since last year. They look really nice, and Sony never made its own VR controllers. You had to use these old crappy PlayStation Move controllers or use your DualShock. It was annoying. So the new Sense controllers look very much like Oculus Touch controllers or other things we've seen. They promise the types of advanced haptics that are on Sony's DualSense controller for the PlayStation 5. Now, especially those vibrating haptic triggers. The adaptive triggers on the PlayStation 5 are amazing. They have this ability to kind of lock in different places and feel like you're grabbing things. Now, that type of tactile feedback could be really interesting on PlayStation VR 2. I'm looking forward to the haptics on this thing more than almost anything, because if you could feel like you're really grabbing onto stuff with the triggers, and the vibration quality being so good on Sony's DualSense controller, there's a lot of stuff you could do. I mean, the Oculus Quest 2 really just kind of vaguely buzzes and that's it. There's also going to be headphone breakouts with an audio headphone jack. There's going to be support, which I like, for different types of faces and eyes by adjusting with a really comfortable headband. This thing's gonna have a head visor like the original PlayStation VR, not an elastic strap. And what that's going to mean is that you're going to be really easily slide it on and off your face. And there should be an adjuster so that you can change the lens distance, which is great because if you're wearing glasses like me, you should be able to adjust this thing and get a really good fit on your face. I haven't tried it yet, so I don't really know, but that's how the PlayStation VR was, and it looks like the PlayStation VR 2 is taking a similar approach. We do know one game, a Horizon universe game, that Sony talked about at CES and showed a trailer for, that is going to be available for PlayStation VR 2. But we don't know any other games. Now it looks like, I would guess, that this is backwards compatible with the existing PlayStation VR library, which is pretty sizable if you haven't looked. But I would expect a whole new bunch of games that would be optimized for the PlayStation 5 and for this headset that could do all sorts of stuff that would really push the bleeding edge of where VR is right now. especially when you count on those graphics, foveated rendering, the quality of the display, the haptics. It feels like this could really go to where PC is gaming and maybe even beyond in some instances. Now, it also could be that Sony is gathering a whole bunch of developers for really unique exclusive games. I would expect that from Sony if they want this to sell, but we don't know anything about that yet. You know what else we don't know about? Price or release date. Now, release date should be this year, but we don't really know when. Price is an interesting question because the PlayStation VR, the original, wasn't cheap. It was about the cost of the PlayStation 4. And if you add up all the new features in this headset and the controllers, it's hard to imagine that this will be anything less than $500. And it could be more than $500. Now, you're going to be looking at basically the cost of a PlayStation 5 all over again, just for the VR experience. Maybe that's not the case, but the least expensive mainstream VR headset that I can think of, the Oculus Quest 2, that's something that might be, kind of subsidized by Meta, Facebook in a lot of ways. That price has not been able to be matched by other competitors for standalone VR. Similarly, if you look at any of the high-end, good quality VR headsets in the PC landscape right now, they're in that $500, $600 range at least. So we'll have to see. We don't know, and maybe Sony would put in a game or two included with it, I'd hope. But there are a lot of unknowns with this. What are known are the specs and the look of it, and I'm really curious to try it. And that's all we know right now about the PlayStation VR 2. I expect we're going to hear a lot more details over lots of little bits of periods of time based on how Sony's been taking the approach so far. Thanks for watching. If you have questions down below, let me know. I'm Scott Stein.